Storing your board. Storing your board for the winter.
It's that time of year again. I'm Marybeth, paddle adventurer, and today we're going to talk about how to store your inflatable paddleboard over the winter. You can store your inflatable paddleboard inflated or deflated, and we're going to talk about each today. Regardless of which way you decide to store it, a preferable environment is somewhere where the temperatures are controlled and where it's dry, away from direct sunlight and extreme temperatures. And it's important to consider what creatures might have access to that storage facility, such as mice who could potentially gnaw on the PVC of your paddleboard. First step to storing your board, and the most important thing, is to ensure that your board and all of the equipment is free of salt as well as dry. If you leave salt on your board from salt water, it will cause corrosion, and if you leave any moisture on your board or board equipment, it will cause mold. I highly recommend that you not only rinse your paddleboard and fully let it dry, but you give it a good clean before you store it. This will help prevent premature wear and give your board and the equipment a longer life. For how to clean your paddleboard and tips, check out my video on cleaning your paddleboard. Let's talk about how to store your paddleboard fully inflated. First, you want to let off some of the pressure from your paddleboard. Storing your board around 5 psi will give it enough structure to hold its shape without bending and causing creases, but give it enough room to fluctuate with the temperature in the storage facility. You can store your inflatable paddleboard like this against the wall, flat on the ground, or on racks. You want to make sure that it's evenly distributed and equally supported. This is especially important for longer storage, such as over the winter, as you don't want to give the PVC the opportunity to slightly twist. If you're storing it up against a wall, make sure it's totally vertical and evenly supported against that wall. You want to avoid having it leaning against the wall like this, as weight of gravity will slowly push down on the PVC and give it the opportunity to slightly twist. If you're storing it on a rack, ensure that the rack placement is evenly distributed along the board. It's also important to ensure that the board is inflated enough that it's not going to bend and crease over the racks. If you store it flat on the ground, make sure that nothing's being set on top of it and it's evenly supported on the ground. Ensuring your inflated paddleboard is well and evenly supported is even more important in a warmer environment. The warmth will soften the PVC and allowing it to bend and twist more easily. Check to make sure that your storage facility doesn't have a window where the sun can get in and shine on your board. Now let's talk about storing your inflatable paddleboard deflated. You'll want to store your deflated paddleboard outside of its bag and loosely rolled up to ensure there's proper airflow. Remove any of the accessories from your paddleboard where you can, such as your leash and your fins. To avoid moisture getting inside the paddleboard, make sure that your valve pin is in the up position and the cap is on. You'll want a nice loose roll or fold. Place your paddleboard on something soft like your paddleboard bag, a towel or blanket to avoid it getting damaged from your storage floor. Whether you're storing your loosely rolled or folded deflated paddleboard vertical like this or horizontal, it's important to ensure that you don't set anything on top. If I do put weight or pressure on it, it will cause creases here that are more susceptible to be weak spots and damage the board. You want to avoid any pressure points here on the US fin boxes. If you do lay it down horizontal, you want to make sure that it's sitting on that flat. If you have rubber fixed fins and they get a little molded out of shape over the storage season, a little heat from the sun or hair dryer when you get them out again will sort it out. That's a wrap on how to store your inflatable paddleboard.
Storing your board for the winter.
If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Until next time, happy adventuring.